friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and we've got an unboxing today. And yeah, Canadian Cutting Edge, we are in Canada. I'll just do a brief bit on this video on how I get knives into Canada from outside of Canada. And of course, we're going to take a look at what we've got in the package. I believe it's either all or mostly artisan cutlery / Cjrb stuff. We'll see for sure. While I have been out, yeah, that headache really is bugging me again today. Yeah, I'm still getting bad headaches from, withdrawal off with a medication that I've been on, but I'm doing better. Slowly but surely I'm doing better. And yeah, that's a broken record, but it's still true. I keep getting a little bit better. Anyhow, while I was, out of commission, Artisan Cutlery and some other companies as well have contacted me. I don't always say yes to reviewing stuff from companies. I just declined another company, one that had sent out a whole bunch of stuff to people recently, and they've posted videos about their stuff. They tried to trick me. They said they'll send me some stuff for free, and then after I gave them all my contact information and everything, they say, oh, but first you have to buy something. They're not going to get a good review. Even if the product gets a good review, the company won't, because deception, that's never a good thing, is it? So I'm not being deceptive. I got these things at no cost to me, but I'm going to give you an as honest an opinion as I possibly can about these things. And of course, right now, it's just going to be an unboxing opinion. But let's come to the tabletop and get things started. Briefly, my fellow Canadians, there is not an easy way for you to get knives into Canada at very low risk. Even the way I'm using here, there's still a risk that CBSA is going to inspect it and take them from me. But basically, I've got family in the United States, and their time is precious to me, and but they're willing to help me out. So, taking apart the handles and the blades, this box has blades, this box has the knife handles, and they're mailed separately. The most common two questions I get from my fellow Canadians is, how do you get knives into Canada? So I'm telling you here how I get it. And the second question is, can you bring this into Canada for me? And the answer is no, I can't. I'm not going to ever begin, becoming basically a vehicle for importing knives into Canada and getting sent to individuals. Basically, I'm performing the function then of a broker or sort of a quasi-retail kind of outlet kind of thing. And I'm not going to do that. And one of the biggest reasons is the person who's got to do this work of taking it apart, he's doing this as a favor to me. If you can find somebody like that, great. But I cannot be that person for you, and I won't be that person for you. That's just the way it has to go. So this is how I get them. I'm not going to show you me cutting these open. I'll just cut them open and skip to that real quick. This is how they've come to me in these boxes. I've not opened them up yet. And the blades, they came separately in this box. So I'm not going to open these up for you right now. What I'm going to do is, off camera, I'm going to put the blades back in the handles. And so from here on out, it's going to look like a regular unboxing, except for I will have seen the knives before you'll have seen the knives. Is that okay? I hope that's okay. If it's not, sorry, deal with it. Like I said before, Cjrb gave these to me. That's artisan cutlery. I've got a Pyrite here. This is the J1925 BST. So this is the steel version with the powder coat on it. And this one is the one that they call the Wharncliffe. Come on out. Come on out. There we go. And zipper, we got a pouch. All three of these have the pouch. Of course, a little bit of a pull tab or whatever you want to call that right there. Yeah, decent zipper. Nice on the inside, nice and soft. There we go. And the Pyrite, it's a sub 3-inch button lock. At least I believe it's sub 3-inch. I didn't measure it. I've not seen any reviews of any of these knives. I know the Pyrite's been out for a while. And people are going, well, what do you mean, Jake? You haven't seen any reviews? I don't watch reviews of knives that I'm going to be getting. And when I found out that Cjrb wanted to send me a Pyrite, I didn't watch any videos about it. I've got no idea what other people are saying about this. This one's, powder coat black. So on this side, everything looks black. On that side, you've got a standard stainless steel silver button. And then here you've got stop pin that's silverish and, spacers that are also silverish. I think it'd be cool if it was all black. Now this is a little bit dirty here, and that's because to take this apart, Dave uses drive grip. Now, if you haven't heard of drive grip, I'll link a video to it up here along with VC3 Vibratite thread mate that I like instead of thread locker or Loctite thread locker. Anyhow, so there's a little bit of residue. I thought I got it all, but there was a little bit of residue left on there. What drive grip does is it helps you not to strip out screws. All right, so we've got a hole. The other one's got a thumb stud. I've got another Pyrite right here. That one's got thumb stud, so you got a hole for deployment, and it's quite smooth. If I hold the button lock in, the blade mostly falls all the way down. So there's a little bit of snugness on part of that there, but very easy to flick it out. And I'm hitting the table. Very easy to deploy, and it's bouncing a little bit when I go to close it. Now, I don't know if I haven't optimized it quite right yet, if I've got everything lined up perfectly. That's the one thing I can't show you how smooth it is out of the factory because, like I said, it was taken apart before it was sent to me, but this is quite smooth. It's just got a little bit of bounce there. I'm not sure why. The other one didn't when I was using it. Now, there we go. Oh, tiny bit then again. So not always, but there you go. Alignment, it's right down the middle. I didn't spend any time fussing with it at all. I just put the screws in, tightened it up. One thing with these smaller ones, they do not have a D-shaped pivot pin. They've got a, well, they do. They've got a D-shaped pivot pin, but no D-shaped hole. So there's a free spinning pivot pin, and they use a lot of Loctite on this. Dave had a tough time taking these apart. So if you're going to get one of these, really do think about the idea of getting some drive grip. If you're in the States, if you're in the United States, it's cheap. It's like $5 to $7 on Etsy. It used to be really cheap on Amazon, but the price on Amazon just kept going up and up and up. It's an American product, made in USA, drive grip. Got a lanyard hole back here. This is steel. It's highly milled out on the inside, and yeah, quite nice. Deep carry, standard artisan cutlery Cjrb pocket clip, which they tend to be quite nice. A little bit of jimping up here. You don't have to get it in the powder coat version. Let's open up the next one and show you another way that they come. This one is the titanium version. Difference between these two is the shape of the blade. Big difference with this is, they milled out and put a race washer between the bearings. We've got ceramic ball bearings on both of these, but since titanium is fairly soft, you have to put a race or a washer, a hardened steel washer in the pivot so that the ball bearings run on the blade and on those hard washers. But watch this. I'm just going to let it fall, and it falls in very nicely, very smooth action. This one, doesn't bounce when I go to close. Well, that time it did. It doesn't usually bounce. Got a thumb stud instead of a hole. So that's a couple different ways to get it. Nice stonewash finish on the blade. We got a stonewash finish pocket clip here. Quite nice. And other than that, they are basically identical in the handle. And you've got two different blade shapes. You've got that Wharncliffe in the black, again, which is also available in the stonewash, or you can get it this way. I really like, this shaped blade. I'm very happy with it. This type of Wharncliffe, it's got a bit of a rounded nose, got a bit of belly there. The forward choil's not big enough, really. That's not a finger choil, in my opinion, because it's not big enough to safely use, unless you're going it slow. I'd like to, yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what I think of it really when I do the review, but it's not really, in my opinion, a forward choil. It's just not quite enough room in there. I like that the badging's nice and small, the CJRB there on the blade. Other than that, no other badging. And then on this side, nice and small, the model number J1925, and then ARRPM 9 steel. So the Pyrite, I'm sure a lot of you guys have opinions on these. I'll give you my full opinions when I finally do a video on these knives. This is the J1926, so it's the model that came out just after the Pyrite. This is the Lago. Same pouch. We've got a G10 button lock. Larger knife. We got a flipper this time, so thumb stud, hole. This one's a flipper with a hole. And pocket clip is a bit different, than the very common standard pocket clip. A little bit wider back here. It's got the horizontal screws. T8 body screws here. These are T6 screws back here. They are good fitting screws, but those are T6. These are T8, and this one's got a proper D-shaped pivot pin in there, and also ceramic ball bearings in there, and lanyard hole at the back, similar, to these lanyard holes here. So that's kind of nice. And let's flip it out with a hole. Yeah, that works just fine. And this time, the hole here is better. The forward choil, I should say. It fits better. A little less risk of getting cut on that blade when you go to grab it. So that's a good thing. And the button lock's got a cutout, not just at the button, but along this edge here, there's also a bit of a cutout. As you can see, if I move this around and the light catches that just right. And on this side, you've got the smooth round button. And I should probably have put that in the other way around, right? Put that on the show side. Oh, I can do that later. I assembled it. These, like I said, you need 2 drivers to take them apart. But this one, just the one. Yeah, I'm going to take it apart after I'm done this video, and I'm going to put it so that the button's on this side and the Torx head's on this side. Anyhow, badging nice and small right there. And the Cjrb is a little bit bigger than I prefer. I wouldn't mind it being nice and small, kind of like these are nice and small. But it's not super huge, so that's okay. Very high flat grind. Again, same thing here. High flat grind and high flat grind. Not quite to the spine on any of these, but close. Nice big hole. That helps reduce some weight. And pocket clips on all these are both sided. You can put them in either way. And let's see how this, hey, that fell kind of nice. It didn't fall hard, but it fell kind of nice. So, yeah. I'm going to have to do shots of this from further away when I do the review. Alignment, nice on this one as well. A little bit of jimping, same kind of bigger jimping there. Not bad, kind of like that. And the forward choil, that seems okay. Flat slab G10, rounded at the edges. Feels quite nice in hand. And of course, I do like ARRPM 9. Seems fairly thin at the edge. This one feels just a little bit thinner. And this one too, thin. This one's just a little bit thicker than those two from the Pyrite, but still seems fairly thin. Yeah. And of course, when I do the reviews, I'll give you all the full measurements indeed. We've got some skeletonizing inside this guy, and this is not quite 3.5 inches, I believe. Yeah. The flipper, let's see that. Oh, there's some oil there. Some oil residue from when it was taken apart and put back together again. Oh yeah, that works just fine. Yeah, and that's with no blade plate. It's properly snugged up. I'm not a huge fan of coated blades. I much prefer something like stonewash. And, a little bit below that is satin. Coated is kind of like my last choice. And that's even if it's the best coating around. I just am not a big fan of coated blades. And ARRPM 9 is stainless enough that it doesn't really need to be a coated blade. The coating is just, if you like the look of, the black blade. But yeah, I'm liking this. Left-handed, I'm not, against button locks for left-handed, not at all. It's actually quite easy to operate left-handed. So it's a right-handed knife, but not a problem. And yeah, there you go. I believe there's more stuff from CJRB coming my way, but it might take a little while to get to me. It's just the way things go. It takes time. It takes time for stuff to get mailed, to my friend in Nebraska, my family in Nebraska, and then it takes even longer by the time, Dave has got them taken apart, packed up, put into shipping. Regular post from the United States to Canada is a whole lot slower than the regular post within the United States. So it does take time. Thank you very much to those of you who support the channel every month. Very few of you left in the last 2 months when I wasn't making very many videos. And even this month in May, I'm not going to make an awful lot of videos, but I'm going to try to make more and more as each week passes so that I can give you more content and give you the stuff that you're looking for. I appreciate your help for helping out the channel. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.